So hi, Rosie here with a story and an invitation for you. So I have a story that I have a feeling you've experienced yourself before. I was sitting and hanging out with somebody, and this person was really struggling and having a really hard time, and and we were talking for a really long time, and I was listening and caring and paying attention and really doing everything that I could to support that person. And she kept saying, nobody's here for me. I'm all alone. Nobody's here for me. You know, like I have no friends. Nobody cares. Nobody calls me back when I reach out to them. And, you know, she just went on and on and on. And here, I don't know, maybe we're talking for, this has happened to me actually many times. So anyway, this is like a long-term story. But anyway, like here I am, totally here for her. And she's not getting it, right? Like she's so busy thinking about all the other places in her life where nobody's here for her, and she's looking for evidence for that, right? That's what we do. We have these beliefs that are so strong that we'll do anything to find evidence to prove that those beliefs are correct, even when we're like smack in the face, we're like staring in the face, the opposite of that belief is happening right there in that moment. And so I don't want to get into like how that made me feel, or, you know, like, oh man, that's really tough, whatever. But I want to talk about this as sort of an invitation to all of us to think about, you know, what are those beliefs that we are holding on to with such rigidity that even if the opposite of that belief came and smacked us in the face, we wouldn't notice, right? Like, what's your belief? And so that reminds me of something else. Someone once invited me to do this thing. I can't remember exactly. I'm sure someone came up with this and has put a patent on it, this little exercise. So I apologize for not knowing where I got this from. And in the end, none of us really own wisdom anyway. But anyway, this is a great exercise that I'd like to pass on to you, which is about this thing, about beliefs. Like, let's say you have a belief that that you're all alone and nobody really cares about you. And normally you're oriented towards looking out at the world and trying to look for evidence for that. Like, what if you just chose for a while to just entertain the opposite belief, that I am surrounded by love and support. People are here for me all the time in ways that I never imagined that they would be. And that you started to look for evidence to prove that correctly. And so I'm not really talking sort of new age affirmation, like you just repeat a phrase in your head over and over and over again, and you kind of like, you grind it in there until it becomes true, and you kind of add your energy to it, and then suddenly, poof, there's a manifestation. Because I actually don't, in my experience in new age systems where people just kind of like grab onto a thought like that, I don't really know if it's possible for that to really have the kind of healing impact that people often want. Often what it does is it kind of pushes the opposite of that belief up to the surface, because it in shadow distorted ways. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track here. The most important thing is I'm saying this so that you can just start to think and look and orient in ways that are a little bit different. It's not to like create magical results. It's just about acknowledging the power of your belief system, and how when you're focusing on something, that thing grows. So why not just for a while put your attention on an opposite belief to one of your favorite negative beliefs that you're always trying to confirm, even though you may intellectually not think that you are. If you're really honest with yourself, you'll see that that's true. But what are those things that you're just so sure is hard for you and will always be hard for you? I can have that one, for example, like for myself, like, oh, you know, exercising is just really hard. It's always hard for me to motivate myself to move from a place of inertia to movement. Like, I could so get into that, and I could so come up with a million reasons why it's just really hard for me to exercise, or to make exercise a regular routine in my life. Oh, I get interrupted. Oh, I'm a mother. Oh, the kids stuff. Oh, the work stuff. Oh, there's never time, right? So I could just kind of build up this whole arsenal to prove that that is correct. So at the moment, I'm entertaining the possibility, or just kind of playing with this belief that it's super easy for me to exercise. It's so easy for me to move my body. And these are all the reasons why it is. And I start in the beginning to just kind of play with it. Oh, because, you know, all I have to do is think about it, and there I am doing it. Or I get so much joy out of it. Or I can actually just ask a friend if she wants to go on a walk with me. And it just takes like literally 2 steps to get out of my house onto the street, and then I'm walking and I'm moving. Or I live right next to the YMCA. It's so easy. It's so, I don't have to drive anywhere. It's so right? So I kind of like start to think in those ways and then start to become open to all the ways in which it is easy for me. Anyway, just a little example for you. So think, what's one of your main bitches about life? Like your main bitches. What are the main ways in which you really make it hard for yourself? And see if you can kind of like turn that sentence on its head and then start looking for evidence for the contrary and see what happens. Okay? All right.